Well, later this afternoon, a man involved in a Northern Michigan's teen sextortion case will be sentenced. Jordan DeMay was tricked into sending nude photos of himself and then asked to hand over money or else. Under that pressure, Jordan took his own life. The FBI tracked two brothers from Nigeria and brought them to Michigan. They're currently serving sentences of 17 and a half years in prison. But prosecutors say those men had help from 5 people in the U.S. Today, one of them, Dismore Robinson, will be sentenced. But before that, we do want to talk to Jordan's mom, Jennifer Buta, who is live via virtual thanks to Zoom. Jennifer, this has been an outrageously difficult thing. I can only imagine for you and your family. Does today's sentencing, I'm not sure if the word closure is right because it's kind of cliche, but does it help your family in any way?
It's definitely another step forward in seeking justice for Jordan and, hoping for some change with these cases and these people that are doing this to our children.
So I was discussing this earlier with Darnell, and this is a difficult conversation to have with your children, but I'm hoping, and maybe you're hoping too, that Jordan's case could maybe save other lives, because what happened to Jordan probably has happened to hundreds of other kids, just not knowing what to do or where to turn, where to go when something like this happens.
It's a necessary conversation that needs to be had in every household. I know that in sharing Jordan's story, it is making a difference. It is teaching parents and kids and educators what to do if they find themselves in this situation. I a month ago got 4 messages from families within a 24-hour period that this had happened to their families. So it is definitely a conversation that needs to be had in every household today.
And speaking of that, and I don't want to pry too much into your life, so if I do, please tell me, but I can't imagine a teenager wanting to discuss the fact that they're going through a sextortion issue with their parents. But what's your advice? How do you try to have that conversation? Because I can't, did you have conversations with Jordan like this, or did you have any idea something was going on?
We had conversations with Jordan about, who you talk to online and what you share with people that you don't know about financial sextortion specifically. We didn't really know that this was something that was happening. But now, this information is out there for parents to go sit down with your children. There are a lot of different resources talking about Jordan's story. There are presentations being done in school that can kind of make the gateway for making this conversation a little less uneasy.
When this first happened and Jordan took his life, and then you started realizing what the reason was behind all of it, did you ever think you would get to a point where you would see sentencing and some form of punishment for what happened? Because cases like this often don't get prosecuted. They don't find these people.
From the jump, it was very surreal that this was even something that could happen. And our Department of Justice and the FBI, they did amazing work by going forward and finding these people and bringing them here. And sometimes it's just unreal to me that this is how far Jordan's case has gone. And it's really making a change in how these cases are handled in the future.
Mm-hmm. How long did it take you personally to process what had happened to Jordan? That must have been just a very strange process.
I don't know that I've still fully processed it, but it was at least a year before things started to sink in, the reality of what had actually happened, and now moving into the criminal part of things where we would see people in court and be sentenced.
Oftentimes when I speak to victims and their families who have gone through something tragic like this, there's some on the lines of they want to see a lot of punishment, some where they're able to forgive and they want to see some kind of rehabilitation. Where are you on that?
At the end of the day, there is no sentence that will bring my son back. But what is happening is sending a message to the people who are participating in this activity that you can be caught, you can be found, you can be held accountable, and to leave our kids alone. So I think the message in and of itself is a great thing that will be there to protect other kids and give some other families some justice for what happened to their children.
Well, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. And I am curious, again, this is a deeply personal thing that you and your family and Jordan have gone through. Did you have a conversation about remain isolated and just letting the process play out, or early? I guess when did you decide that you wanted to become kind of a spokesperson in the sense of trying to make sure that other kids don't go through something like Jordan did?
From the moment that our local sheriff's department told us that this was a case of financial sextortion, the immediate response was, we have to tell everybody about it. Because if we didn't know about this, chances are every other parent that we knew didn't know about this either.
And what were the conversations like with your relatives and your family members and friends that Jordan had gone through, trying to explain it to them? Because for most people, they don't get this.
Everybody like us was not familiar with this crime, so it was really a learning curve for everybody. And now that I'm immersed in it, I'm learning more. The people around me are learning more, and we're helping to educate our communities outside of our communities so that people know what to do in this situation.
So let me ask you this. What would your message to be to moms, dads, grandmas, grandpas, any kind of guardian, anybody who's watching over, specifically teenagers? What do you tell them about trying to have this difficult conversation? How do you do it?
Sit your children down, let them know. Number one, there is nothing that they can't come to you with. You are there to help them and guide them through tough situations. As much as they may feel embarrassed if they find themselves in a situation where they have shared an image, they need to come forward, because the people behind this are professionals and it will escalate so quickly. There are so many different resources available to help you, including local law enforcement, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And your life is worth so much. So please seek help if you find yourself in this situation.
Well, it's interesting you say all that, because Darnell and I were having a conversation about an hour ago, obviously about you and your son. And I realized that as terrible as what happened is, maybe there's a silver lining here, because even me personally, my daughter is 12 going on 13, and we haven't had this conversation just yet. It needs to happen. But I'm realizing that your son's story is a perfect opportunity for me to have this conversation with her.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Jennifer, thank you so much for your time. And most importantly, all the work that you and your family have done on this. I know it is not an easy thing to do, but I think, again, as you mentioned, you are helping thousands of people and, again, saving a lot of lives. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.